Should, ought to, and must are auxiliaries with very subtle differences in their meanings. Let us understand when and how to use each of these. Okay, before we start the lesson, let us do this first. You must keep the peace and order of your community. Who are you? You are a policeman, and your obligation is to keep the peace and order of your community. Okay? Okay, number 2, you must provide proper treatment and diagnosis for sick people. Who are you? You are a doctor, and your obligation must provide proper treatment and diagnosis for sick people. Okay, next is you must teach your students well. And who are you? You are a teacher, and your obligation is to teach your students well. Here is the correct use of should. Should is used to indicate an advice or the best suggestion for a situation. So should is more of an advice. So here are examples. You should not smoke. It is not good for your health. So you are giving advice about smoking. We should avoid going out at this time. Okay, so since it is just an advice, you may or may not obey it. So it's up to you if you are going to obey it or not. Another way of giving advice is the use of ought to. No? But this time, the advice has to be followed. Unlike should, in should you can just ignore it. But here, in the use of ought to, you have to follow the advice. Ought to is stronger compared to should, and it is more appropriate to use while talking about rules, regulations, and laws. Here are examples of sentences using ought to. You ought to follow the traffic rules. Again, as I said, this is an advice but needs to be followed. Okay, so if you will not follow, there might be consequences. Okay, number 2, you ought to be at work on time because there is a rule at work, so you have to be on time. Okay, next is the use of must. Must is the strongest of all 3 words and indicates the need of the hour or absolutely necessary situation. So, must is an obligation. No, it's more like an order and must be obeyed because it is necessary. So, I hope that is very clear. So, here are examples of sentences using must. Number 1, you must leave the premises right now. So, order yan, ano? Order. So, kailangan sundin, ano? Dahil kailangan, ano? So, you must leave the premises right now. Parang merong mangyayari if you are not going to obey. So, number 2, you must follow the instructions carefully to open the box. Okay, so kailangan sundin mo if you want to open the box. It is really necessary to do. So, kailangan sumunod. Okay?